We are live and we're recording from all places, not Mars, but Vegas, here live at Health. And I am super excited. Today's topic is going to be groundbreaking. We're going to talk about nothing in healthcare. And we got our special guest, Ethan.
Yes.
Go ahead, take it away. We know that.
Well, can I just say I love this topic? Because I was just saying, all I want to do is talk to good people that care about this space, about fun stuff. So that's what we want to do with you today.
It's perfect. I'm an expert in absolutely nothing. So it's
I love it.
Just works really well.
We have that in common.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Yes.
And it's funny, Ethan and I go way back, and I feel like we talk about everything, and it probably amounts to nothing, but you know, it seems very fitting for this.
So if I understand the whole concept of moving the needle, it's just going to sit there today.
Correct.
There's no moving today.
When was the last time the needle actually moved?
That's an excellent question. I don't know. We might have to figure that out.
What is the needle?
Yeah, what is your needle? Tell us what you do at McKesson. How about that?
Yeah, sure. So at McKesson, I sit in our strategy group, which means that we look at where the world of healthcare is trying to go and making sure that McKesson as an organization is adequately prepared for it. And if we're not, looking for companies that we should be partnering with or acquiring or new markets that we should be getting into, whatever that might look like, to make sure that we're appropriately prepared for the future.
So
I'm confused. So we talked to that we were going to talk about nothing, but actually I feel like we got the person that might be able to tell us about where these things are going.
you and I are like totally on the same wavelength with Suzy as usual, because I was like, oh, actually, so you are responsible for moving the needle, it turns out. And all these years I didn't know that.
Can we reimagine what the damn needle is?
I keep it a secret. You know, so McKesson is, the reason I joined a couple of years ago is because they sit in this really interesting place in the ecosystem, right? We sort of like to think of ourselves as the pipes. We sell shovels. We don't dig for gold or whatever the youth says. But when we make decisions, when we say, hey, McKesson is interested in moving to here, we're this $300 billion company that like sort of has some influence in the industry. So, it's a
what
pretty
kind
cool
of things
place
are you looking for right now?
If I tell you, I have to kill you.
Even better, I may not make it back.
On the way back to Mars, back to Earth. Yeah. Very out of
Maybe the secret you're going to go down with.
Okay, so let me ask it this way: if there was one thing you get out of health this week, what would it be? Would it be a potential acquisition?
So I'll give you two things.
Okay.
One is confirmation of trends. So things that we think are happening. Yeah. If I'm here and I hear other people talking about them, or people on stage are talking about them, or there's tons of companies that are interested in doing X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
That's good news for us. That means that the research that we did, the hypotheses that we had are correct. That's one thing. The other is, yes, meeting with companies, meeting with investors, meeting with other folks who sort of are either on our roadmap or radar or should be in the future.
So what trends have you heard so far this week? Because I keep hearing AI and sustainability. Obviously AI, that goes without saying.
Yep.
Sustainability is becoming a big issue in healthcare. What are you hearing?
I think data in general, bigger than just AI. I think people are trying to figure out what to do with it, how to clean it, how to leverage it, use it, whatever you want to say. I think that's a big one. I think it's also just understanding patients better. I think that's one of the things that I've seen here is like providers for a long time, or startups, or everybody in the ecosystem is like, yeah, we need patients as a stakeholder, but really getting an understanding of them, leveraging AI or leveraging different types of technologies to be able to say like, okay, you know, yes, I knew this patient from a demographics perspective, but now I know them as a whole person, and I know their whole, you know, social drivers and everything. And that changes the care plan. It changes the way that you approach them, either as a payer or from somewhere else. So
I love this because I'm thinking of my mom, the 86-year-old, wonderful, loving woman, maybe a little curmudgeon, right? And the healthcare she's thinking and what she wants is probably not what she's getting.
I didn't want to ask.
And then add a layer to the cake, a 91-year-old father in dementia hospice right now. How in the heck are you serving the families? So I like that. I see that as a huge next step in healthcare.
I think one of the other trends that we've talked about for a long time at McKesson, so we're a distributor, right? Our core business is in buying things from place A and moving it to place B, C, and D, right? That's sort of what our core business is. We do that in med-surg distribution as well, in addition to prescription drugs. So when you think about like care at home, moving things from the acute care facility out to, you know, primary care offices or SNFs or anywhere that's not like inside of a hospital, that's very interesting for us, trying to figure out what that looks like for your 86 and 91-year-old parents.
Yeah. And I didn't mean to, Mom, I love you. You're awesome.
All of our moms.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, I took curmudgeon and I'm not even nearly that old.
That was my thought. I was like,
it's okay. We're all a little bit of that. I love it.
Now.
Yes.
So we're next. We're here, Alyssa, Ethan. What else as we wrap? Land us on the moon or maybe Mars? I don't know.
And I want to add to that. So like, where is the influence, right? Like you talk about McKesson, they have enormous amounts of money. So they actually have influence. But you come from the venture world. And I think a lot of people think venture also has a lot of influence. Like who is actually moving that needle? Like where is it coming from? Because I think it's really hard to know.
Yeah. So McKesson, all of these entities, there's like a whole bunch of companies that have a whole bunch of money, right? Yeah. But the margins in distribution are tiny, right? Yeah. It's 1% to 3% max on our distribution. Same thing with like Uniteds and CVS's of the world, right? They're all struggling. So there's a lot of money going through the system. That doesn't mean that all of these incumbent companies have a lot of money to spend. Yeah. So I think there's like an important distinction there to an extent. The venture world certainly has capital to deploy to startups that are doing interesting things. A lot of them are going to fail. But in the process, I think really the only thing that drives change at all is outcomes. So until we actually see the needle move, if we're going to bring this thing full circle, right? It's
you can come back anytime.
So I think we might have an Ethan next.
Yeah.
Sure.
Please finish your thought.
So I think if it actually affects change, right? Whether that be making the patient care better or reducing cost out of the system, making things more efficient, whatever that is, like actually changing outcomes is the only thing that will drive like adoption. And it's the only thing that really matters. So
it's pretty awesome.
I love it.
You're amazing. Thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you.
Nice to see you.
We could do a formal handshake.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool.